Hi, I'm Melinda Van Fleet, and welcome to the Good Karma Success Coach podcast. I'm a confidence and mindset mentor and coach, best-selling author and speaker who helps women believe in themselves, build confidence, and take action. In 2009, my husband Ryan and I were laid off at the same time, and we moved to the Florida Keys without jobs, not knowing anyone, hardly any money, and we never even been here, but we made it. And now, not every day is sunshine and rainbows, but we're living our best lives. And all along in our journey, I've always said that someday when we get our quote unquote shit together, we will help others. So each week, my intent is to be relatable and bring you tactical tips, tools, share my learnings and stories that can help inspire or transform you wherever you are in your career or general life and make an impact. I strongly believe that if I can do it, you can do it too. So what's stopping you? Hi, everyone, and welcome to this week's Good Karma Success Coach podcast. And thank you in advance for joining me. Today, we're going to talk about visibility. And this podcast is a little bit of a prelude for the 2-day experience that starts on Tuesday, October 18th, 2022, called Visibility. And I originally was going to have the subtitle be Let's Get Visible, in honor of Olivia Newton-John, because if you know who she is, you know she passed away not too long ago, I think maybe just like a couple months ago. And one of her very popular songs from the 80s was Let's Get Physical. And a little fun fact about me at age 51, when I was, I think in the 6th grade or the 8th grade, but it was right around that time frame, I saw Olivia Newton-John in concert, and it was actually my very first concert. My parents took me. I was so excited. It was at Poplar Creek, which was in Illinois and no longer exists. It was an outside big music theater. No longer exists, and I saw Olivia Newton-John in concert, and it was very cool. I didn't like the perm that I had with my hair at the time, so I was feeling a little unconfident as a young adult. But more on that maybe another time. So I'm naming this podcast in tribute to her. Let's Get Visible. And yes, this may be a podcast that's kind of dated because the Masterclass workshop and Q&A is just a few days away. But in general, I am hosting these 2-day experiences once a month, and they are $88 at this point in time. The price will probably go up in time, but at this moment, they're $88 for the 2 days. And they're just really, really awesome because it's a way for you to work on things that you need to work on. So it's not me putting someone in a box like some other coaching programs do. It's me really sharing and then figuring out what is going to be the best for you, for your life and your business. So that's why I'm calling them Masterclass workshops on the first day, and then the second day is Q&A. And overall, it's an experience. You know, our lives are an experience, our businesses are an experience. So I am calling these 2-day experiences. So again, this one is on visibility. And visibility is a ginormous part of growing your business, or even starting your business. And I have definitely had a lot of experience in that category, a lot of things I've had to work through. And if you dig through my podcasts, especially Crush It in Sales, I talk a lot about different things that I've had to deal with social media. But this Masterclass workshop isn't just going to be about social media tips, because I'm sure you all would agree there's lots of things out there. I'm more than happy to share more, and I definitely have had some podcasts on social media precisely, but these are more about, why are you doing what you're doing, and how are you feeling when you're doing what you're doing, and then what does that look like in terms of results? What does that look like in terms of the energetics around it? And I wanted to share a personal story on this podcast that I have never shared with anyone on any podcast. And I'm pretty sure Ryan and I haven't spoken about it together because it was such a big deal for him. So And if I have shared it, I apologize, but I don't think I have. So we share so much all the time that sometimes we're like, did we tell that little story? Because we have so many stories. So I remember when Ryan got started fishing, Good Karma Sport Fishing, we started our business. He was very nervous about getting a bad review. He was just so nervous. He has had so much improvement around his mindset over the years. It's just like truly incredible, the work he's done. And he was very, very nervous. He, was, let's say, a captain down here that, we were going against the grain. So a lot of captains, when we started, and I know I've talked about this before, they were either born and raised in the Keys, or they had their dad was a captain and taught them, and their grandpa was a captain and taught them. It was very much the way of the Keys. Like, I'm a saltwater conch. I've been fishing since I was, in my mom's womb. Like, that was the marketing. That was what it was. And here comes Ryan. We're in our mid-30s, and yes, he had a lot of fishing experience, but not necessarily blue water. He had to learn, which is one of the reasons why he has become as amazing as he has been, because he was very open to learning and definitely spent the time to do that. Most people don't. I'm going to be honest. So he really put in the time, but he was still really nervous to get a bad review because of the stigma out there with him not being from the Keys. And a lot of that, in my opinion, was in his mind. We don't know what people say behind our backs. We don't care. We don't associate with other captains. We really don't. We just stay in our own lane, and I'm so proud of that. And so we don't know, but, he can assume that, people are seeing his catch, which is amazing, and going, oh, he's not even from here. We understand that people do that. So he had a lot of fear around going on TripAdvisor. And TripAdvisor, as everyone knows, and, all these review websites, Google as well, is a way to get visible. It's a huge piece of doing business, is the review part. And he was just like, no, I don't want to be on it. I don't want to be on it. And it was a constant discussion in our household, because to me, I knew how amazing he was, and that he was better than a lot of other captains down here. His clients love him. His catch rate is better. The experience is better. And I was like, why are you so afraid? Like, why are you so afraid? I don't understand. And it was just this limiting belief he had in his head in regards to being so visible out there. He still wanted to kind of hide. And finally, after some other things that we put into play in our business in 2018, he finally said to me, okay, I'm ready to go on TripAdvisor. And that was such a game changer, not really for bringing him charters. I'm going to be honest. I mean, it's definitely brought some charters, but that is definitely not the main way that people find him and book with him. But just in terms of confidence and building his confidence and pushing through some limiting beliefs around visibility. And I'm going to say, for anyone out there, working on your mindset around visibility and limiting beliefs and fear and getting uncomfortable, it's never a journey that's fully complete. It's not like you're just like, oh yeah, I'm completely comfortable. I mean, I have that too. I go to various chamber meetings. I go to various women's business organization meetings, and I still have those moments of like, oh, okay, I've got to, go into this group of people. Let's see how many people are in the room, like, and push through some, comfort, some fear, and some uncomfortableness. It happens for all of us on many different levels and many different times. But there's ways to work through that. And there are, tools that you can have and you can learn, and you can figure out what then works for you, and figure out what level of visibility do you want in your life or your business, and be comfortable with that. And it's really amazing the results that you can achieve when you start to work on these things and watch it compound over time. And that's what we're going to be talking about too, is like compounding over time and being patient with time and really just putting in the work and showing up. Because what I see going on out there on a consistent basis is not only people hiding, but also people like showing up and then disappearing. And I see that with women's groups, this women's group I'm with, I'm like, where did like that person go? What, they never came back, right? So maybe they never came back because they just didn't like the experience. That could be. But sometimes they're just uncomfortable and they'd rather sit home and be, in front of their computer or on a Zoom call. So there's lots to unpack with this topic. And I think it's just a great place to start in this 2-day experience, aka Masterclass workshop, with the second day being Q&A, and really try to get some tools together, figure out a little mindset shifts, some reframes. I love talking about reframing. I love also talking about validation. Sometimes you just need someone to talk to know, hey, I'm not alone. It's okay. And, you go through that too. Oh my gosh, I thought you were like, so da 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 da, right? So confident, so like sure of yourself. And, no, not every day, not every day. That's not every day. So just knowing that you're not alone in the whole process is, I think, really, really important too. So I really hope you join me. If you join the Beyond Basic Elevate Mastermind, which is going to kick off at the end of the month on the 27th, what is included within that mastermind, which is technically a year-long container, but you can pay by the month, and it's a 3-month minimum. So this is very standard of what's going on out there in the coaching world, and I think it's amazing. I'm in 3 containers myself, and I really think that it's just such a great experience. So I've kind of adapted the things that I like from different people's containers and put my own spin on it. But that container will include the 2-day experiences, my audios, and there are 4 right now. I'm going to be recording a 5th very shortly. It might be live by the time this podcast comes out. I'm not sure. We'll see how it goes. And then also an extra Q&A coaching call for people. So just having some proximity, having someone to talk to, whether it's me or other people in the container, is just really, really awesome. And I've learned so much from hearing other people's questions that I'm just blown away. And I'm going to give props to those other people, often women coaches that speak up and ask those questions, because they're having to push through some fear around being visible there too, right? Their question may be a little like uncomfortable for them to ask, but they have the courage to ask. So there's just so much we can learn from this topic, and it's probably just the beginning of this journey. And I really just hope that if this speaks to you, you will click the link, and I will see you on Tuesday. So until then, please check out last week's podcast with Luli B. I'm going to be a speaker at this year's Spark, which is October 25th. And I'm going to be on a panel, and I'm so excited. And I have several friends also going to be on panels at this women's event too. So check that out. And I hope to connect with you. Please find me on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, or Instagram. And I will put all the links for private coaching, the business audit, and all these other things in the show notes. So until next week, be grateful, be curious, always be learning. And you know what? Have some fun too. Thanks again for listening.